What? Video game ads used to be weird.
PSP. I'd hit that.
In the late 90s to early 2000s, the whole gaming industry got really edgy. With the rise of shooters like Doom and the gore of Mortal Kombat, alongside their now teenage player base, higher-ups at gaming companies took note and must have thought the only way to sell their games were to make them seem as edgy as possible. This resulted in the most bizarre, somewhat offensive at times, advertisements. I believe the origin of this phenomenon started with Sega's in-your-face marketing in the 90s. To compete with Nintendo, Sega made it seem like the Genesis was the more grown-up console to have. It was only for the most extreme hardcore of gamers. They even made up a term just to push the notion that the Genesis was so much faster and better than the Super Nintendo. And it actually worked. They were even selling more than Nintendo at one point. Thus, as the saying goes, if something's successful, copy it and just make it slightly worse. One of the first to try to copy Sega's homework was Atari, which by the early 90s, the once gaming juggernaut was on the verge of bankruptcy, desperately banking on the success of their next console. No surprise though, the Jaguar was not the console to save them from certain death. Although technically being the first 64-bit system, it sold less than 100,000 units, which, watching the advertisements for this disaster, it may be clear why.
Just what is it that you want to do?
We're gonna have a good time.
I feel like I just got flashbanged by 60 nonsensical commercials at once. What even was that? Although best as they might, they could not match the unhinged ads of Sega's next system, the Saturn, which coincidentally also commercially failed.
Let's compare Sega Saturn's games to games on Plaything. Sega has a long history of creating true arcade games. Plaything's maker has no such history. Sega Saturn gives you arcade graphics and gameplay that could only come from the power of 3 processors. Plaything has only 1 processor. Sorry, Plaything, you are not worthy.
Yes, finally, just what I want. Satan trying to sell me a Saturn, Spencer baby time for my Carly, and the console's logo turning into a screaming CGI floating head. Gimme 10. Although, I will say, the Japanese commercials for this system may just be the best ads I've ever seen.
野球しようぜ。
オッケー。
行こう行こう。お前ら今日はやったよ。
任しとけ。
姿三四郎。通れ。通れ。
姿三四郎。
姿三四郎。
音速ハリネズミソニックのレースゲームソニック R。
セガサターン。あとはドリームキャストの発売を待つばかりだ。
セガタ三四郎は君たちの心に真剣遊戯セガサターン。
Now before you think Sega were the only ones with the weird ads, Nintendo threw their hat into the ring with some strange ads of their own.
As As Nintendo begins to take on new forms, it's important that we can measure how addictive they truly are.
The new Game Boy Micro. Extremely portable. Extremely stylish.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the rat thing, yep, that's definitely gonna make me buy a Game Boy Micro. Which, coincidentally enough, was one of Nintendo's only failed consoles. Also, just wanted to throw this one in here. Mario canonically got a tribal tattoo. You know what? Some of these magazine ads are just insane. I went down this rabbit hole. There are some very questionable ads in here. Oh, yeah, here's one. Sega back at it again. What, oh my, what even is this? They're making an arcade system? The 32X? Coincidentally, again, another extremely failed, commercially just utter Sega add-on Genesis failure. Oh jeez. Rayman got in on this. No arms, no legs, huge features. At least it shows screenshots of the gameplay. Alright? Unlike this next one. What is this trying to sell me here? Like, this is just trying to be as provocative as possible. It doesn't even have the game in it. It just has the logo. What is this trying to say about the product at all? Like, oh, the main character is a female. We gotta make it as sexually appealing as possible. Okay, we've made it to the Sony part. That Tomb Raider 3 PlayStation ad was just the tip of the iceberg. Sony's ads are so unhinged that they get their own category in this video. Just look at this.
Let me tell you what bugs me about human endeavour. I've never been the human in question. Have you? Mankind went to the moon. I don't even know where Grimsby is. Forget progress by proxy. Land on your own moon. It's no longer about what they can achieve out there in your behalf, but what we can experience up here in our own time. It's called mental wealth.
You better believe I'll never underestimate the power of the PlayStation. I don't even know what she said, but if I don't buy a PlayStation right now, I'm scared she's gonna show up at my door. It doesn't stop there though. They continued with the weirdness in the PlayStation 2.
Welcome to the third place. PlayStation 2! The third place!
You know, with this one, I think Sony invented the backrooms 22 years before it was cool. Oh, and don't count out the little handheld PSP, alright? Sony got its own lineup of questionable ads.
Come out and play!
What? Yeah! It's a nut you can play with outside!
PSP. It's like a nut you can play with outside.
Rated E10+.
Squirrel! I know that cat! You bugging, man. That ain't no cat. That's an ox. What the cashew is an oxel? It's like when a weasel and an otter fall into a web of love. Like a mixed nut. Like when you had forest fever for that skunk and she sprayed you nasty. You think Dexter has a sister? Yeah. I bet she's smoking like chestnuts on an open fire. Yo, I'd hit that. I'd hit that. I'd hit that. I'd hit that. I'd hit that.
Daxter for PSP. I'd hit that.
Oh, it doesn't stop there though. Look at this billboard. This one's just straight up racist. What? Imagine the teams of people that had to get this approved. The system isn't even in the full frame. It's shoved in the corner. How did this get out there? Who okayed this? But nothing compares to what I've been just the quintessential PlayStation creepy ad campaign. Imagine, now it's 2006. It's the launch of the PS3. The competition, the Xbox 360, was released a whole year before you. And even worse, it's $300 less than your $600 PS3 Pro model. You're tasked with creating an effective ad campaign that will make people want to spend the extra $300. Do you A, make an informative ad campaign about the advanced features such as Blu-ray compatibility and PS2 backwards compatibility to justify the price point? Or B, a demonic crying naked baby doll? Put your answers in the comments below. Alright, you got them in? B. It was B. Of course it was B. Why else wouldn't it? Yeah, of course. If just looking at a PS3 makes me start reverse crying and having war flashbacks while it slowly floats in the air, coming ever so closer, I do not want to be anywhere near one of these things, let alone spend $600 to have that experience. This wasn't the only one either. There are two other ads that take place in this white purgatory room of nothingness. Actually, I kind of like these. I mean, they are still completely nonsensical, but at least the Rubik's Cube one is about the new smart processor, and the eggs are about the motion controls and the 6-axis controller. But that baby one, though, it didn't even have a tagline. What was the message there? You know what? I think I'll stick with my Xbox and be happy. You know what? On second thought, PC will always be better.